All right, today we're diving into an app called Something Unseen Mobile, and it's trying to pull off something pretty ambitious. It wants to blend social media, AI, and crypto all into one single experience. So, is this just another app with a bunch of features thrown in, or are we looking at a whole new kind of digital space? Let's get into it and see how it all clicks together.
And yeah, right away, their mission is crystal clear. This is not just another social app. It's setting itself up to be a central hub, a place that tries to weave together three huge and usually very separate digital worlds: community, AI, and crypto.
So, okay, what is this app really trying to do? Let's get right to the heart of it. The folks behind this have a very clear vision for what they're building. And here it is, their mission, word for word, right from their own docs. They want to, and I quote, bridge the gap between community engagement, artificial intelligence, and the Web3 ecosystem. Now, Web3, that's basically just the world of crypto, blockchains, all that decentralized tech. That's a pretty big goal, right? So what does that actually mean when you're using the app?
Okay, so let's break that down. What that really boils down to is an all-in-one app for Android. It's a place where you can chat with people, a tool to learn about what's happening in crypto, and a way to get exclusive content and services. They're really going for that true one-stop shop feel for their members. All right, now for the fun part. Let's peel back the curtain and see what's going on under the hood. How does this thing actually work? What are the main features you'd be using every day?
So the whole experience is built on these 5 main areas. You've got the Unseen AI Center, a community message board, the Crypto Life dashboard, a content spot they call the Echo Chamber, and then a personal area called the Vault. Let's zoom in on a couple of these and see what they're all about.
First up, we've got the Unseen AI Center, which has this assistant they've named Brom. Now, here's what's really interesting. Brom isn't just a single AI. It's actually powered by models from 2 of the heaviest hitters out there. We're talking Google's Gemini and OpenAI's GPT-4o-mini, so users get direct access to some pretty serious AI power right inside the app. Then you have the Crypto Life dashboard. And look, this isn't some super complicated trading platform. Think of it more like a really convenient at-a-glance look at the market. It pulls in live data for the big players like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others, so you can kind of keep an eye on things without having to jump to another app. And then there's the Echo Chamber. This part is basically like a broadcast hub. It pulls in curated videos from places like YouTube and Twitch, and it also points you to different community resources and blogs. Again, the whole idea is to keep everything in one spot for everyone. Okay, so you've got all these different features, right? But how do you get people to actually use them? Well, Something Unseen has a pretty clever answer for that. They've built in a gamified scoring system that's all about getting people to engage and keep engaging. And the rules aren't buried somewhere in the settings. As you can see right here in this screenshot from the message board, they lay it all out in plain English. And that transparency is so important, right? It's what makes a point system like this feel fair and actually motivating. So how do you get these points? Well, it's really straightforward. You post a message, you get a point. You talk to the AI, you get 2 points. It's a really simple feedback loop. The more you participate in the main parts of the app, the higher your score climbs. And they even have monthly rewards to keep things interesting for the most active folks. And this slide really shows you that connection perfectly. Over on the left, you see the message board. That's where you do stuff. And on the right, you've got the user profile. And you can see how those actions add up to a score. It's a super direct cause and effect, linking what you do to your standing in the community. So that overall score you see, in this example, 156, that's the key takeaway. That number isn't random. It's a live metric that shows how active and invested someone is in the community. It's almost like a reputation score. But why track this so carefully? Well, it turns out all this engagement is feeding into a much bigger picture. Because as you start to dig deeper, you realize this app is more than just a place for the community to hang out. There's a whole other layer here, one that hints at a much bigger vision and even a professional business model that's actually fueled by the community. So this right here is the Vault. And yeah, on the surface, it's your personal dashboard. But if you look closer, it's also kind of a storefront. This screen is the link. It's the bridge that connects this community app to a whole suite of professional B2B services. And we're not talking about small-time offerings. The platform offers some serious professional services, things like data consultation, project management, even a developer for hire option. So the app, in a way, becomes this really elegant way to find clients for a bigger data and development business. The community itself actually fuels the business. And, hidden away inside the vault is this deeper mission statement, and it kind of puts the whole project in a new light. It's not just about community or AI or crypto, it's about empowerment. The real goal, they say, is to give people the resources they need to do their own research and explore these complex ideas for themselves. So, all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? By mixing community engagement, powerful AI, and this gamified scoring system, and then funding the whole thing with a B2B service model, could this be a new blueprint for how online communities are built and sustained? It's definitely a very interesting model to think about.